Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to FSB Racing Friday Night Winston Cup Series. Happy Valentine's Daytona, everybody. I'm your host, Shawn Reap. As always, my partner in crime, Milt Minter Jr. up in the booth. Hey, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day to all y'all out there. And my wife is enjoying her candies I got her, so I did my job.
Milty has paid the toll. Glad to have you with me as always, Milty. We have got Super Speedway action for you here. Daytona BR, Highline Dominant. Forgot the microphone! Oh boy. So take two. Happy Valentine's Daytona, everybody. I now have a microphone in front of my face, not just on my headset. So now the audience can hear me as well as Milty.
Okay, I heard you.
Yeah, it's the thing. The one here, this is what I talked to Milty with.
Well,
this one
somebody's
right
knocking
here
on my door right now, too, and my wife just came in, so you guys didn't hear that either.
Nah. So this one here is the broadcast mic. Yeah, we know what we're doing. We've done this before. So yeah,
I'm broadcasting. You'll have to come back.
It's stuff happens. Anyway, as I said, it's
Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
and,
happy Valentine's Daytona. It's Valentine's Daytona.
Valentine's Daytona.
That's the hashtag for the day there, you know?
And my wife got some candy she's chewing on and enjoying, so. And a little fluffy puppy dog that the cat can beat up.
The cat beats up the puppy dog.
Well, not yet, but he's just afraid of it right now, so.
I get you. Yeah, our huskies are interested in the cats, but don't really do anything about it. Anyway, so yeah, we got Super Speedway action here with Daytona BR. Highline dominant track, although if the numbers are on the low line, that'll move too. So there's a lot of different ways to approach this. You can get a group going on the high side and get some stuff going here. On the pole, backing up his Truck Series pole last night, because we also ran Daytona from the trucks, in the trucks, Ed Fowler in the 05 car with his teammate Bill Farmer. That's exactly what the front row was last night in the truck race. That was eventually won by Dennis Chambers. Dan Irvine, P3. Isaac Johnson, back from college, with the 72 car in the top 5. And let's see, Rick Johnson, 5th. Some Jim Gately, puts the 23 in the 6th qualifying spot. Dave Jandry, Joe Weaver, Rick Castle, and Keith Cordier. Rounding out your top 10 there. Nice qualifying run for Keith. Good to see him back on a Friday night. We got Kim Wright checking in the YouTube chat from work.
Hi, Kim.
Thanks, Kim. She's here to check out her man, Jeff Havoc. The 101 car starts 21st on the grid tonight in the Coast Guard colors. The 11 of Dennis Chambers. And, Steve Weber pulled me aside before the race tonight. A little announcement there with Dennis Chambers. Let's see if we can find him on the track. You can probably figure out what I'm about to say, but the 10 is no longer an independent. He will be... Oh, there's the 101 of Jeff Havoc. Yeah, I'm not seeing him on the track, but the 10 car, Dennis Chambers, will have teammates going forward as he has joined Monsoon Motorsports. So he'll be in the stable with some already hot shoes there, with Steve Weber, Pops Margison, Matt Watkins.
That is the legendary Monsoon Motorsports race team.
Absolutely, one of the longest running teams here at FSB. Long established team, so nice pickup by them.
Still sweeps the shop there.
Every week you change who it is you say sweeps the shops. Checking out Dog out there. Got the AMC ready to rock and roll tonight. The 108 machine.
Red, white, and blue. For me.
Wolf. There's the Coast Guard. Oh, there you go. Right nose to tail. Those two cars, we're going to get them confused from a distance. So get used to spotting them now. There's your O2 of Dave Simons. Practicing those pit stops in those last few minutes of happy hour. Very important. It often comes down to green flag pit stops here in Super Speedway racing. These guys are real smart, real patient. Don't necessarily pile up the cautions and mind their P's and Q's for the first half of a long race here. At Doris Gately also checking in. Mama Gately. Yeah, she's pulling for 3 in a row for Slim.
3 in a row, baby.
Man, making that 3rd in a row come
Why
at a super
not?
speedway, that's gonna be the hardest one, because anything can happen here. Oh, there's the 10 car. I lost him now.
Diamond Dave Simons, your Riverside winner, showing what he can do, and now it's speedway time. Completely different discipline. This is what we were talking before the broadcast of how much we enjoy this type of racing, but at the same time, as a driver, how much anxiety it gives you.
Absolutely.
You have no vision, and you're packed in with 30 cars all around you. It's crazy.
Yeah, of all the things that, we call this a simulation, and it's simulating racing, but there's a lot of things that just can't be simulated. The effects that oh, look at that 4 wide there on the backstretch in practice here.
The physical effects.
The physical effects, the heat. We don't have brake fade in here, so we don't get that on short tracks and road courses. But the sensation of speed might be a little bit different. One thing that does not change is time. And the time that you have to react when something happens in front of you. And that's what you get a real appreciation for. That's something that's absolutely simulated 1-to-1 in this thing we do, in the simulator we run, is you can see how the big one happens for the big boys, because when something happens in front of you, you've got no time to react to it. You either blink and make the right move, or you don't. And that's part of the randomness, which makes making a pick tonight pretty difficult. As I wrap up our qualifying order here, the aforementioned Dennis Chambers, who I'm focused on now there, new Monsoon Motorsports member, puts his number 10 car on the 11th spot. Rick Bisconner in the 109 is 12th. Jeff Hale, always a favorite at super speedways.
He
It's
good.
at Junkyard 29 and P13, Lucky 13. Will Farmer, the McQueen Machine, number 95, starts 14th. The Big Cactus, Steve Weber, puts the 83 in 15th. Ryan Johnson, Billy Yarbrough, Johnny Doucette, Brad Otto, Ken Hansen rounding out your top 10. Jeff Habak in the 101. Bob Williams got some paint tonight. Let's see if I can find him here.
Excellent.
He's down here in the back. He's got the Chattanooga Chew. That last scheme that David Pearson drove back in the 80s. About 86, I think, when Pearson drove that. Good-looking car. I don't paint tobacco cars myself, but you gotta admit they had some good-looking machines over the years. And let's see. He was also your last car to turn of time. Then you got Sam Young, Mark DeSenza, Daryl Flanagan, John the Dog Palmer, Diamond Dave Simons, and Pops Marguson and Matt Watkins taking your provisional spots there.
Drivers, start your engines, man. Dude was really excited there. I think he was like one of the big shots from Coors. Definitely going for the 9 car of Ken Hansen. So we're going to make picks here. I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm going to go with the 9 car of Ken Hansen. In the back right now, rolling with these guys that either didn't qualify on purpose. So I think a lot of them want to ride in the back and see the big one happen in front of them in time to stop.
Okay, while you were making your pick, no joke, because this is a super speedway and stuff is random, I fired off a random number generator on my calculator. I'm going to put the camera back on so I can hold it up. Will it focus? No, it won't focus. It blows out. 57. I told it to do the highest number in the field right now is the 124. I told it to do number between 1 and 124.
Williams, relatively new to the league. Yeah.
Yeah, I had the camera on him because of the car. I hit random number generator. Is there anything I can do to get that to come up? Oh, there we go.
Nice looking Monte Carlo right now.
There it is. There it is. Random number generator came up with 57. So there's proof that the broadcaster jinx is not on me. It is on Google.
Just to mention 57 real quick, that number used to be at the beginning of FSB was a dear friend of ours, Canadian Rob Bender. We called him, but his real name was Rob Rogerson, and he passed away this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, he passed away right after Bob joined us.
Yeah. So when I see
like the same
that
week.
number, yeah. Pace car is off. It's Daytona, boys! Buggity, buggity, buggity! Let's go racing, boys! Isaac Johnson in the house tonight, running. Busy young college man, but he's out there tonight to win. Also a go-kart racer, and here we go. Want to get in the line, get the tires warmed up. Just feel like a villain here right now, and Biscotter cuts down low from the outside line. Really close up there. Instantly, right away, anxiety, folks. We'll give you some in-car views tonight, and you don't see nothing. You just have to, generally when you're following, coming into some of these corners, you have to lift a little bit. The guys in front, wide open. Fuel is going to be an issue. Teamwork. You want to pit together with guys, because you're going to have to pit by lap 18-ish. But you can also pit early and still make it. You can get can and a half instead of 2 cans. And with the way this works, a lot of times you'll have enough fuel to make that second fuel stop and also get your track position. So let's see what happens. Car round.
Oh, we got the 58 car backwards already here on the track.
20% around. Did he get help? And the caution is out.
Caution is on speedway.
Everything about this track is difficult. The speed, 190 plus, 55 mile an hour pit road. Crazy. Tires are not a big issue here unless you spin. Oh, somebody hard in the wall there.
Drivers, to your cars.
And there is damage for the 58 car. He's beat in the back a little. As long as you don't get engine damage here, you still could get a good finish. Looking back at the replay here.
Yeah, I'm getting that queued up here.
Drivers, to your cars. Drivers, to
Whoops.
your cars.
Had to reconnect the main computer.
Oh, 3 wide right there. Looking at the replay, and he got contact with the 57, but the 57 really had nowhere to go there. Of course, once we get this queued up, I'm watching the replay from my view. The 58 went up and down, and then got pinched off, was able to get down low successfully, then came back up around the 57, I think, and then got pinched off again and got a little got into the 57. The 57 really did. He was on that low line. Really nowhere for him to go any lower.
Oh, I've got the negative laps bug again tonight on the standings. Yep, there you have it. He just got a little caught up with the
The 3 came
57.
up in front of him there and spooked him a little bit, but then there were 3 wide, and really, maybe the 57 came up a hair, but I mean, there was no room for the 58 to get to the middle there because the other cars on the outside were pinched down already. That's how quickly it happens.
Well, look at the 101 and the 9 just barely missing each other as they avoid the 58. Heck of a move. Heck of a move not only by Jeff Havoc to miss him, but heads up driving by the 99 and the 9.
I'm sorry. I think we got cars that have pitted, cars that have not, and now we looks like we got the 27 of Dan Irvine up in front. Have yourself a Miller High Life.
Well, I think I know
take some chances here, you know, to get track start.
I think I know what causes the negative lap bug. It's when I have to disconnect and reconnect.
Well, that's why we call you Smart Brother, and they call me the Mouth.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just have to live with that tonight, unfortunately.
Second is Ed Fowler. He lost the lead there, but great qualifying for Ed tonight. Wouldn't count him out for show. Mr. Bojangles back there in third. And it's excuse me, yeah, I got that mixed up there. I always get Farmer and Fowler mixed up. I'm so terrible with names, man. I worked for a company with like 100 and some odd people, and worked there 3 years. I still don't remember people's names. Being important people, you know. Hi, how's it going? So that's Farmer getting around Fowler. So Ed's still in third, Mr. Bojangles. And that kid there in the 72 car, we know who this guy is. Former champion, Pro Cup champion. When he decides to show up, there's only one reason why he's going to show up, and that's a win. And then you got, 7-time there. 6-time, I don't know how many times he is. Rick Johnson, the co-goat with Matt Watkins in the red box Ford.
Matt Watkins is in the Back to the Future 35. But yeah, set 52 is the red box for Rick Johnson. Yeah, definitely some hot shoes out there. Some super speedway specialists.
Did anybody pit in the front? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, there was definitely some pitting going on.
Okay. We're busy tripping on the replay there. And tripping, man. You tripping. Lights are out. Now they're going to go single file. This changes everything after you get that. But who's going to go down and make it 2 lanes? Who's going to go up? In real NASCAR, you get a chance to pick your lane. And this sim is still old school, and these are old school cars, so he will start on the bottom. Well, actually, they'll start wherever they want because they're going to be single file. Joe Carr's pitting there. John the Dog Palmer, AMC Spirit. You know, like we've talked before, for some of the new viewers, if you haven't watched before, he's hand controls, paralyzed from the waist down. And he is a great plate racer. He's won the FSB Daytona 500 miles. He likes to, he makes light of everything. And he's like, well, one thing I don't have to do is worry about if I got to pee between the race, because I got my bag right there. And I got a serious advantage, And that's the kind of sense of humor John the Dog Palmer has.
That's what you gotta have to get through that sort of thing. Alrighty, I put the old laps counter up using the RLM TV, so we'll rely on that for tonight. I was able to fix that on the fly without crashing my main screen again, so that's good.
Boy.
That's a win. I should just program that in. I've got extra buttons on this Stream Deck I could
You
use
are a
here.
steely-eyed missile man. His car is off. Dan Irvine takes him down through the tri-oval. Anything about this is not easy, and going through these gears, you have to take care of that transmission. It can jump up and bite you. You lose a gear, your chances of winning are over. Then Jim Gately up there. The 51, again, Dave Jandry. Talked about him the last couple races. Always the contender.
Oops, I wasn't live on the main screen though. A little bit behind, and so we're back to green here.
Wow, you did a melty right there.
I did. I usually do that with the other screen.
Rick Castle on some of that Crown Royal right there. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, Bill Farmer out front.
Here comes Jeff Hale up in front of Will. The chinga chinga. The file does not last for long.
Go on board the Chattanooga Chew machine here of 57 Bob Williams. Currently sitting in 14th. And you see that gaggle of cars in front of him.
This is what you see right here. Waters talking to you all the time. Inside, inside, inside. These guys have game spotters. This is at 191 miles an hour. That's your Sunday drive right here.
That's the end of the straightaway here. We're going to see. He had to lift a little, stay off slim, but topped out 194 at the end of the straightaway.
Your Bob get out of it just a hair there. You get a run usually on the car in front of you right at the end of the straightaway.
195 through the tri-oval. Lifting again.
Inches apart.
And I said these guys are going to mind their P's and Q's for the first part of the race. But they're keeping it too wide, and they're going for it early on here. Trying to get that track position before the first pit stop. Highline's definitely got the momentum right now with those top four cars just nose to tail. No gap between them.
Like no damage on that 57. It's just
oh yeah.
They beat that out a little bit.
No, he wouldn't have any damage at all. He didn't get. He just
a glancing blow.
Yeah.
Dave Simon's down on the apron there. Apron bad. That'll make your sticker pecker right there. You're like, oh.
And see, Isaac Johnson's pulled himself down into that low line to take over the lead of it.
Well, you can imagine driving 75 on the highway. You still don't make really serious inputs on the steering wheel. At this speed, you really don't. Everything has got to be very smooth and precise. As you apex through the corner, as you got cars side by side, you have to focus on where your car needs to be and hope the guys around you are doing the same, which they are. But you still got buffeting at speeds. You see the cars weaving around. That's not because they're just messing around. That's because they're getting error off the... and, you know, this is a simulation, but it's simulated pretty well. And you do get that feeling. The car is totally different than if you're driving by yourself. You can pretty much just drive it with one finger around here. But all of a sudden, everything changes. The handling changes. You got oversteer, understeer. creep up on people. You got to breathe the gas. And at this point, with all this close quarters, you don't want to bump draft or anything like that. Even really side draft, because you're not going anywhere. What you want to do is get yourself to this first pit stop and execute that, because that is what separates. And get out with, draft buddies.
The top line is falling apart right now.
It's like, without my weapon, I am nothing. Without my weapon, without me is nothing. You're done without that arrow.
Yeah, the top line has lost their organization and some of the faster cars. The 72, 29, 95, they've all moved down and are moving the low line forward. I'll push Jeff Hale. That may look like a wreck, but that is a Super Speedway Series specialist there in that Junkyard 29.
Slim Jim Gailey going for 3 in a row. Mama Gailey was not remiss on mentioning that. And forget about jinxes. He's had bad luck, and maybe it's time for some good luck. And when you get on these rolls, racing is funny like that. There's been seasons where the whole season, man, I'm a champion, and I can't buy a good finish, and then it all just falls together. You get a little bit of luck, a little bit of, and he's got the skill. He is the man. I've learned a lot in sim racing, especially short track driving, from Slim Jim Gailey. More than willing to help anybody, especially new guys, to figure out the nuances.
Anybody who didn't pit is going to have to come in probably in the next 5 to 6 laps, depending on how much they saved under the caution.
Yeah, they were clutching, but you're also coming up on the window already, so to break it up into pieces. So these guys are all communicating. Teammates are communicating. They're all in their own team channels, and then there's also a open channel where everybody can get in. Some guys, independents.
Yeah, right now the open channel's got series admin Ryan Johnson, our league promoter Sam Young, Joe Weaver, Bob Williams, Daryl Flanagan, Dave Jandry, Dave Simons. They're all in the open channel, so those guys can communicate.
Then you got teammates, yeah, exactly. Then you got teammates that want to just, we don't want them to know what we're doing, and that's the fascinating thing. And they're all saying, okay, I'm third, I'm fifth, I'm here, I'm there. What are we going to do? We need to get down to the low line pretty soon. You see, pretty soon the outside line's going to bail, or they're going to want to go an extra lap.
Well, you can see how strong.
Guys crash,
You can see how strong the outside lane is too. They don't have the numbers, and they're holding their own, even leading laps still.
One of these days, when I get my computer fixed and we get on a broadcast early, I'd love to walk the viewers through what it's like to make a pit stop here, and how you have to come off that turn 4, get the car straight, and then get on the brakes just right and get down from 191 miles an hour to 55. It ain't easy. And that's everything with the race, especially when you got these guys like Matt Watkins that can blow through that sucker at 65 or 70 and get down to the first timing light, or he can throw the race away. But you know what? These guys are, and Rick Johnson's another one there. These two goats, that's where they're sitting there right there on their sack of seeds, just, okay, I'm going to wait to plant, and then I'm going to plant.
Now look at the 95. Haven't talked about him much tonight. The McQueen machine of young Will Farmer He's got himself tucked in nicely in second place now.
Well, I'm the kiss of death, but I always kind of focus on guys I haven't seen before, and I'm seeing the 57. This guy is obviously a pro sim racer and knows what the heck he's doing.
You've seen Bob. He was just in a default
right
before. That's why it seems new to you. Yeah, Bob Williams has been here a couple months now. Yeah, offered full-time membership.
He's raced a long time before here. Is my point.
I think he's fairly new to it, and
well, then he's got some natural skills.
yes, he does. I got the scanner up.
This game is still available, and you still get it. It's cheap relative to other simulations, and got a great league here that's been here for 16 years at least, and you can go racing on Friday night, like the week, that week you sign up.
That day, if it's if Sam's checking registrations that day. But I've got the scanner up in my,
oh boy,
my laptop here.
Trying to get down low. It's 3 wide. He's obviously wanting to get to that low line to pit because he's going to stop pit next. Great car control, but it's still 3 wide. And he's in the sucker hole right here.
29 is pitting.
Any quarter here. He wants to get down. Oh, now he's on the outside. Oh, man. And he gets down there. The guys behind realize, as a driver, you realize he wants to get down. He showed you. Now you let him down. That is some impressive stuff right there. He could have wiped the field out.
Here we go. On board for pit stops with 95 and 29.
Pit time right now. The 57 hard on the brakes.
You can hear the 95 getting down through those gears, slowing the car down.
They were all over it. The 25 was locking them up. They know how important this is. You don't want to blow it, but 57 car in. You only need 2 tires here. You want to set it up so
2 at a time.
Your inside tires are your last stop because the crew gets that done fast. And he's out. Great stop for the 57 Chattanooga car.
And the 95 McQueen machine. Ed Fowler rolls off with that number 1 pit stall. You see the teammates drag racing there. And the next group of cars is in, led by Isaac Johnson, Dan Irvine, Dave Jandry, Joe Weaver, Slim Jim Gailey, and Mark DeRocket DeSenza.
Cars get, oh boy, that was close with the Rocket and Slim Jim Gailey. Slim Jim into his stall, Weaver, and he gets Slim around. Slim missed his spot. He was trying to get into Weaver's pits there, and
oh no, that could be costly.
That was still a great recovery by Slim Jim. He had the presence of mind to go around Dave Jandry. Didn't lose hardly any time there. That was a veteran move there, but he's got to be kicking himself because he made contact with Joe. I don't know what happened with Weaver there, but I think he made his stop too, but it might have slowed him down a little.
Yeah, it's enough. It's lost him touch with that lead group. You see, I'm still on the 29.95.
I don't know if Joe had to back up or not. I was watching the 23 there. Daryl Flanagan. Wow, that's a bright green car right there. Marines. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps. Rocking the Marines colors there. He's in a gaggle. These guys are all mixed up. I don't know who's who. We got 4 wide. We got cars pitting still. Was that Dog Palmer? No. Dog up to 8th place right there. Making that early stop and getting extra fuel. There's so much here we can't catch it all. Sorry, folks.
Well, here's the pit road thing you were talking about there with Slim Jim, and if he recovers from this is the move of the race. Look at this slalom job he does here.
Absolutely, that's a great vernacular or word to call that. I don't know
What?
if it's the right word.
Wow, such awareness to
Yeah.
presence of mind to avoid contact,
Go around,
get around,
and then
get into his stall clean.
You know what happens is you're so focused on entering pit road, you nailed it. Then you're just trying to slide in. I don't even think he realized the 51 was in front of him or the 12 was around him. And then went, oh no, and still had the ability. Wow.
So it's really best
Weaver
to...
was able to pit, but his car was cocked sideways there. Holy cow. You don't think these guys are good, even when they make mistakes? Slim Jim back to 23rd place. That's what a little bobble does to you. All over the back of Mark DeSenza. They're still recycling here. Dog by himself in ninth. Lost the draft. My pick Ken Hansen in seventh there, but they're all spread out here. Rick Johnson, 18th place. What happened to Rick Johnson?
Rick was the last to pit, or one of the.
Oh, he'll recycle here.
One of the group of the last
He'll
to
be
pit.
Seventh. Okay,
so he had to.
These standings are not as we got cars leaving. Okay, this will cycle back through and.
Yeah, Sam Young's about to cycle out of the lead, so he's actually the last to pit. But
wow,
all the cars that topped off coming in last now.
Well, that's I gotta make a quick pit stop here. Sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers.
So once this all cycles through, looks like where are we gonna end up here? With Jeff Hale or Matt Watkins back to the lead? We'll see. As I believe that should be the catch-up lap right there. Yep, Jeff Hale back to the lead. And you see the separation that little bobble put through the field with the pit road shake-up. Slim Jim Gately back to 4.7 seconds in that group with Rick Johnson, Pops Margison, Ken Hansen, Mark DeSenza, Steve Weber. I think those two groups ended up merging after their pit stops. The Monsoon Motorsports group with Sam Young in the 98 car joining them, and then the checkered flag group there of Ken Hansen, Mark DeSenza, Slim Jim Gately. Those two merged after their pit stops, so they're on a different cycle, but they're running together right now, and they got some ground to make up. This lead pack was pretty big. They made excellent, clean pit stops. They stayed together.
Mama, there goes that man in that junkyard car there, Jeff Hale, multiple super speedway champion. Where did he come from?
He's right where he's been. He's led 9 laps so far. This time by should time for the most laps led, as 10 have gone to Dan Irvine in the 27.
Ed Fowler, your pole sitter, been executing great. Back up, staying in the top 3 this whole race. He's dialed in. And who knows what can happen here?
So leading this second group right now, Mark DeRocket DeSenza in the 3 car. Oh, oh no, Slim, huge wreck off turn 4. Almost all of Checkered Flag is in it. Pops Margison's in it.
Is out.
25 Keith Cordier is in it. Heavy smoke from the 25 car.
And that was that group needed to get together. As I was watching the lead pack, they had a huge advantage there. This is going to bring
101.
opportunity for some and doom for others. Oh,
101
somebody
of-
blew up right there.
Yeah, Keith Cordier blew up.
He blowed up right there. Kablam.
Yeah, you see the black smoke of death pouring out of that 25 machine.
Nowhere for everybody to go there. Mama, I'm on fire. Get out of that thing, son.
Help me, Jesus. Help me, Buddha. Help me, Oprah
Buddha.
Winfrey. Save me from this invisible fire.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
no.
Oh,
That's what caused it. The 3-car blew up. The 3-car blew up right in front of Slim, and there wasn't a thing anybody could do about it. Oh, that is just rotten luck right there for all involved, as you'll catch it on the replay here. See that 3-car? He goes into turn 3 and 4, and then right about here, hand grenades, which obviously instantly slows him right in front of Slim Jim. Nothing Slim could have done to miss that. Nothing anybody could have done to miss that. That's just a mess when it starts right in front of you. Nobody's fault, but a lot of cars got torn up.
Is that the big one? It sure looked like it.
That was definitely a big one, that's for sure.
Whoa, still. Oh, my gosh. Pit Road is just... Oh, Rick Johnson misses his stall a little bit. Has to back up. 72. Just barely hit his. But he gets a great stop and gets by the 27 of Dan Irvine. Great pit stop for Isaac Johnson right there.
Well, right on board here with Jeff
The
Havoc in the
soon-to-be
101,
engineer.
who was about 6 cars back of this, and you just see what I was talking about with the reaction
Wow,
time.
25 is, ouch. That's right.
Yeah, 101 does everything right, but still center punches 25 as he's flipping there. That's going to be heavy damage for the 101. 25, Keith Cordier was smoking after that. Matt Watkins, did he get a piece of that?
Oh, boy.
Did he get a piece of that, or did he just bring it down to the apron and stop?
I'm not sure.
You know what? There's something to be said for the Dale Jarrett right at the back approach, because look at that. He sees
Well,
the black
that's why
smoke.
he's
He's
doing
instantly on the brakes.
Oh,
Brings it
boy, that
almost to a
was
complete stop. This is a masterclass in avoiding the big one, folks. He just brings it down to a crawl. He's down to 50 miles per hour, drives through the carnage, grabs a gear and goes again, and lives
Coast
to
Guard
race another
car
lap.
got... Oh, that was a hard lick right there.
Yeah, the 101, he nailed the 25 as he flipped through the air. And there wasn't a thing that Jeff could have done about that. He was on the high line. He saw the wreck starting in front of him. He was slowing down, and a car just came out of smoke right in front of him, Days of Thunder style.
Well, you see Matt Watkins, what he do, and what you do when you fall in the back there. Hit the brakes. You're on the highway, you hit the brakes.
If you saw on that onboard there, he could hear him get.
Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, don't coal trickle it. It doesn't work. But you'd hear that when I was on board with him when the wreck started. He saw the black smoke from Descenza, and right then you could hear him slow down because he saw it was coming, and that's why he was able to miss all that. So this will close the pack back up, but the guys who really needed that were almost all caught up in that wreck. That second pack that was 4 seconds back.
Lisa Salas, Go Maya.
Mia.
Well, dang, life of a racer from Kim. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
sorry, Kim.
you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail.
Yeah, the bug or the windshield. Check one for today, and I'm afraid that Jeff Tower Havoc there was indeed the bug today. We'll see if that car will still run. Sometimes front-end damage is repairable. Sometimes it affects the radiator. It all depends on whether they shut his motor off when he was in the pits.
These guys are racing for trophies and points. Let's throw a plug out to our sponsor there, bud.
Oh yeah, Farmer Brothers Contracting, Bill Farmer, sitting there P2, putting up the hardware for this series, and I see Will Farmer has snuck into the booth here for a little in-race reporting. How's it going out there, Will? It looks like you're just kind of biding your time there, hanging out in the top 3 in that 95 Rusty's machine.
Yeah, you guys should pull Ed Fowler up here, I'm telling you. He really wants to come up, but he can't move himself. Anyway.
Right, he gotta set himself a hotkey.
Anyway.
I'll grab him.
Yeah, grab him. And grab him quick. But yeah, I was back there in the pack, and I took the Highline highway that we had going on, and I just kind of pushed it, and the next thing you know, I was sitting here in P3 just like that.
Yeah, you followed Hale in for the perfect pit stop.
Ed Fowler live. What's up, Ed?
Having an absolute blast tonight, folks. How are y'all?
Man, you put on a show there, bud.
Car is good.
Looking pretty good. It's hard to beat. I mean, these guys up here are fast, but I just got one thing to say because Will wanted me to come up here and do it. Jiggle-wing, sweet potato pie, sweet tea, bye-bye.
I have no idea what just happened there, but obviously Ed's feeling it.
I think he's got some fans out there that know, and he definitely wanted to say that. And
anyone who had scanners at the racetrack that's exactly what they heard Ed Fowler say as soon as he came out of the pits. That was what he said.
Yeah, he's got a chance to win this race. I mean, to win Daytona in this league with these pro drivers that's an accomplishment that you take home to the bank, folks.
All right, well, we are going green here. I'm going to go drop back down to my team channel.
Good luck, bud.
We're going to try to stay up here, knock on wood, you know.
You got teammates. You got the lead.
You got your teammates lined up 1, 2, 3. Go do a job, kid. Good job.
And we got Jeff Hale, Isaac Johnson, and Dan Irvine lined up behind us, so it's going to be pretty hard. But we'll see what happens when we go green. See you guys.
All right, thanks, Will.
Maya!
Mia! I have no idea what's going on there, but thanks for checking in there. Lisa, we got Ed Finley checking in on his former teammates there, the Outsiders, cheering them on.
Pace car will be off.
Yep, FSB pace car ducks off. Ed Fowler leading back to the green with whatever that chicken wing chant was there.
It's Bill Farmer in the lead, Ed Fowler second.
Yep. And immediately past the start-finish line.
Jeff Hale takes a look, but thinks better of it. Here comes the 27 down low on Isaac Johnson instantly.
Yeah, Dan Irvine, Dave Jandry, they're looking underneath the 72. Isaac's a little blinky there.
Start, and he's got Dave Jandry behind him.
Got Francis the Bandit Dittman checking in. How you doing, buddy?
Francis. Indy 500, FSB Indy 500 winner in the house.
Indy 500 winner, fellow streamer, and used to help us out in the booth here when he came back first too. That was always fun having that 3-man booth going. Man, I sure hope you can get your schedule ironed out and come back and join us sometime, Bandit.
Outside line being outnumbered.
McQueen went and abandoned his teammates there and jumped down to the low line.
All that talk there, they're like, what the heck are you doing now? So what's the 06 going to do? The 05 going to do? Get the stick on the outside, try to side draft a little bit. Dad and son side by side at 191 miles an hour in different lanes.
And Will Farmer will take the lead. Francis cheering on his Black Cat teammates. I think they're doing alright. You got Rick Bisconder up there in the 109. He's still looking good. I think Dog managed to stay out of trouble, too.
Couple old
Jeff Habbock. Look at the 101. Jeff Habbock is hanging on the high line there. right behind Dennis Chambers. His car might be okay after that impact there, Kim. Don't count your man out yet.
Oh boy, was that Matt Watkins on the apron? I seen him do that in the Indy 500 over and over again. How does this guy do that and not crash?
Well, there's no passing down there, but you can go down there to
He's
avoid.
just taking a look or getting a little bit of air. I don't know, or maybe he's the most aggressive guy I've seen on the wheel. The way he manhandles, he reminds me of myself, except I don't have as much talent as he does.
Yeah, there's just that little detail.
But I grab that wheel like it's like I'm gonna choke it to death, and they say that's not the way to do it. But
light
it's the only
touch.
way I know how to do is to grab that thing and grit my teeth. That's me, and that's Matt Watkins. It seems to work well for him. You know, a great teammate of my dad's, nemesis, and guy I've got to meet, David Hobbs. He's talked about if you grab the wheel too hard, you don't know what you're doing, but probably because he was one calm son of a gun.
He's a legend. David Hobbs overcame dyslexia to become a world-class racer.
That too, you know?
Yeah. World-class racer and fierce safety advocate.
Yeah, Formula One broadcaster, you name it. And my dad was fortunate to team up with him a couple times for BMW. Unfortunately,
Ooh,
they
Isaac
were
Johnson.
They were leading the 12 Hours of Sebring, and a piece of the tarmac came up between the concrete and the asphalt and severed the driveline. They were done. Speaking of that big cactus, the Arizona man, Steve Weber, doing what he do and always in the mix, in the top 10, and now he's got a teammate behind him here. They're going to try to get some business done here. Monsoon, when it comes to plate racing, they take it personally, along with that 52 guy up there, Rick Johnson. They consider this their territory.
I may have spoken too soon on that 101 car of Jeff Havoc. He held on for a while, but he's starting to lose the draft. Looks like he's trying to get his nose behind the 02 of Dave Simons, see if that can pull him up. You see there, 187 miles per hour on the backstretch. It's not going to cut it. So,
Doris Gately was rooting for a three-peat for Slim Jim Gately, but we just got Slim Jim out of the safety in-care or whatever place that is.
Go on and say it.
In-care center.
Field Care Center.
We got Slim Jim Gately, man. Nothing you could do there. They done blowed up in front of you, bro.
Yeah, that's just one of them things, man.
Yeah, you know, we had a little bit of mishap on pit road, got a little bit behind, but
that was a great thing there. It was a mistake, and at the same time, you're how you, as Shawn said, slalomed back around. You went, oh no, my stall's not here, and he went around Dave Jandry and nailed it. That was pretty impressive.
I couldn't believe I did that. But
yeah, that was some heads-up driving. Kept it from an absolute disaster.
At the same time, I was telling the fans after you left pit road, I go, I know he's sitting there going, man, I'm sorry, Joe, you know, because that's definitely that just shows you a veteran, skilled guy like you. We can make mistakes, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's easy to do, man, when you got so many cars going down pit road. You know, we got back out on track. I got hooked up with Mark. I had the 25 with us, and man, we were making a little bit of headway. And damn, Mark's car just blew up. It's just nothing you could do, you know.
Kablam!
Yeah, when the car hand grenades right in front of you while you're right on the bumper.
And Doris definitely letting you know. And today's Valentine's Day, so got anything you want to say to your mom?
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, Mother. I love you.
Far out.
And happy Valentine's Day to all the wives, girlfriends, and significant others that letting us go play race car driver on the computer today.
Absolutely.
Mine's sitting across from me playing her game. She just got back from a lady date with her bestie. They went and saw the Birds of Prey movie.
I don't know. Seems like that outside line just is not getting enough participants yet. But that's
It can
pretty
move.
much
I mean,
typical.
Yeah, we saw how much they're holding their own against a greater number of cars in the low line, but as soon as the high line starts to get disorganized, then they start losing ground.
Well, I can tell you
Mama
this.
says she loves you too, Slim, by the way.
All right. That high line is the way to go, but you got to get the right people doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
And, man, if you get it hooked up right, I mean, it's definitely a little faster.
Yeah, we saw on the chicken run at one point there were 4 cars swapping lead back and forth with a low line of 9 cars. We just couldn't get anything going on the high line last night in the truck race, though.
Well, it takes some really bumper-to-bumper racing and a lot of pushing.
Absolutely. And
Well, all right. I'm going to let you guys get back to what you're doing, and I'm going to head downstairs. See you guys
all right,
next
thanks,
week.
Slim. Tough break, man. Better luck
Glad
next
you're
time.
okay, Slim.
Yeah, I got a grade A check, man, when I left, so we're good.
Right on, buddy.
See you.
Is Keith Cordier still running? He took a pretty hard lick in that, too. Or did he retire it? No, he's listed as accident. Yeah, the 3, 23, and 25 are the cars listed as out officially
Oh,
after that
Keith's
incident.
out. Let's see if he wants to come up.
Yeah, that car was trashed. It was smoking pretty heavily after that impact. And again, Jeff Habak in the 101, there was just nothing he could have done to miss that in the world. Johnny Doucette's listed 35 laps down and running, but I don't actually see him on the track. Must be staying in the spot for his teammates or something.
Yeah, Keith stepped away a little bit. Might have to hit the boy. Just as I was in that team channel, wow! I heard Ed Fowler going, "I'm almost getting turned." Great! He goes, "Oh, I got hit!
Yeah, he's got right now. He's got the 59 of Ryan Johnson pushing him pretty aggressively.
He's like, "Oh, I almost got turned." Oh, they're going, "Save it, save it." That's great. That's what your team channels. I mean, they're in there supporting each other and talk a little trash. That's one thing you can do in your team channel. You know, nobody can hear you, so you get fired up. And man, some of the team channel things back in the day when me and Jim Ray and the FSB guys, I miss that. You know. Because you would, sit in there and talk about how you're going to whoop somebody, you know. Of course, that, when you talk to them later, you're like, "Yeah, man, good race, good stuff,
Oh yeah, it gets you fired up now.
It's all competition,
You got father and son there side by side.
You're not here to, lay chicken eggs,
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I think that's a new Miltism right there.
That is a new one right there. You see Ryan Johnson makes a gap and lets his son Isaac drop in front of him, and then he pops back to the high line again.
I definitely did not keep track of when our last pit stop was, so... Yeah, I do that all the time, but we should know that. If you're a driver, you know that. Plus, you have a display on your that you can bring up that'll give you estimated laps. Plus, you have teammates, and so the drivers know. We don't. or unless you were paying attention.
I forgot already too.
Yeah, because we have a lot to do here.
A lot of buttons to push and balls in the
People
air.
to talk to, you know, places to go.
See, Ryan Johnson joins Isaac
But we do
on that high
have
line
30
now.
laps to go. So we would like to. You can go 18 laps. So 62 is the magic number. I
Oh,
don't
Ryan
know if-
Johnson hard into the outside wall.
boy. A little warping from the 9 there, my pick. But he's up in the P4 there, the beer can. Coors, taste.
Yeah, did you see the
The
59
mountain
though? 59 Ryan Johnson hard into the outside wall. Not sure what happened to him to
Did
cause
not
that.
see that. Matt Watkins all over his teammate there.
Oh,
You know, in my experience, when you see the 35, you go with the 35. What he do, you do. There's a really good chance you're going to be in a position to get a good finish at the end.
yes, he looks like the 124 touched the apron and came up a bit through the tri-oval, and that just pushed the 59 up, and there's some heavy right side damage to that brother's body and paint Buick. He's going to need to
Our
employ some of
sponsors
his
from
own
last year,
services.
good thing they know how to fix stuff, you know, that's what they do.
Now, Farm Brothers have had us covered for a while now in this
for a
series,
couple-
but
well, yeah, before
but
that, yeah.
Brian covers the Pro Cup series. He puts up the hardware for that
Yeah,
series every year.
trophies. Dudes like trophies, man.
Leaders are pitting Ed Feller, Isaac Johnson.
We got all over the scanner. Box here. Pit.
And look at that gaggle of cars coming in. Wow, it's almost everybody.
I'm going to keep my eye on that guy in the 52 here. This is money time for him when he shines. 52 red box Ford.
Ooh,
On
a little
pit
trouble for Rick
road.
Bisconner getting to his
72
pit.
has to go around him. 52 had a good entry. Inside tires. Fuel. This will not get them to the end. Revving that thing up, and the 52 red box Ford is off. And he gets off big time. Oh, well, my...
Second group in. Smoking tires all over the place. Matt Watkins must have picked up about 10 spots coming in there.
I'm getting a
That's what
phone
you
call
do.
from my mechanic at work. Getting a new work truck tomorrow. Very excited about that. But
I guess the little trees didn't do the trick.
sorry, buddy. I'm broadcasting right now. Actually, Milt Minter Jr. here is going from Chevrolet work truck to Ford. So, Rick Johnson, see how this cycles out. But just like I said, this is money time for that man.
And look at that second
That's-
group on the right.
That's the, and they're gonna, wow. They're at speed and they're trying to catch up. Can they mow through on the outside? This is what he's done throughout his career. Rick Johnson, let's see what happens when this recycles. I
It
think
looks
he's
like-
going to be in the lead right here. Money time for the drummer. He's going to beat a drum on these guys here if this thing works out. And I need some more beer, so I'll be right back.
So there we have that that round of green flag pit stops all done, and we're going to have one more stop to finish this. And it's going to be less than a full run to the end. You're probably going to see some short pit strategy, because the less fuel you take, the less time you spend on pit road, and we're only changing 2 tires at a time anyway, if that. So I would expect to see people come in with about 18 to go. So that'll take you back to, what, 70, 62... Yeah, if you're going to short pit this to the finish, then you're going to be back on pit road in another, let's say, 8 laps or so here. That could be the winning move. If you're Rick Johnson, you know that. You know Rick's already got that. And Matt Watkins, those guys are already planning. Oh, Matt Watkins gets pushed below the yellow line by an aggressive lane change from the 72. All good, no harm, no foul, no blood.
P1. Smoked the field on the pit stop, doing what he do. Look, man, you know, I mean, this guy was like my nemesis for years, and then he became my teammate. He told me everything he knew, and I still couldn't beat him. No, Milt, he would say. I'd be like, should we get 4 tires here? No, Milt, 2 tires. Get gas. Don't mess it up.
Well, I was just talking about how this could be a short pit scenario to get to the finish here. Because you want to spend as little time servicing the car as possible to get
I
out
think
in
that's
front.
what, even though he's in the lead, that's what he's going to do, especially since he's flat out and going to use fuel here.
So I'm predicting we're going to start seeing pit stops about lap 62. If people are looking to short
just like
pit
we
it.
talked about, you
Yeah.
got to get that 18 laps. Can get you 18 or 17. Short pit, you get less fuel. You can go no tires. That is your. But guys that can stay out a little bit later can do that too. And maybe avoid, you know, maybe those guys that short pit might wreck, you know. Because you still got to pull another rabbit out of your hat. And that pit stop that Rick Johnson did was all the way from knowing who's going to pit, going down pit hard into the down to the timing lights, and executing his stall work and his pit exit and track entry. There's so much there that you have to do perfect, and all these guys are darn good.
And 3 wide right now.
You're talking like millitenths of seconds on each little execution that you do. End up to be tenths, then they end up to be 2 tenths, then they end up to be maybe a half second.
Millitenths is getting rung up as a Miltism.
Yeah, I mean, you're the smart guy here. So.
It's milliseconds.
There you go.
That was a pretty intense.
That's why you get the big bucks, bro.
Yeah, really. All 0 of them.
But that guy that I picked for this race, the 9 car, hasn't done too bad. And the beer can is up in P3 there.
Yeah, he's sitting there in 3rd, looking good right now. Dave Jandry very quietly having a very strong run tonight, sitting 2nd.
Outside line's going to start to work here. Still 20 laps. That's an eternity. So you don't get crazy here. A lot of these guys, me personally, I always like to just stay on that bottom line, because then you don't have to try to find your way down there for that next pit stop. You're already lined up. You don't have to worry about that.
So I'd say we're looking in the next 2-3 laps here. Short pitters might roll the dice. The thing with that, though, is if you go in there and no one comes with you, or not enough come with you, or you get strung out from each other, and the rest of the field just stays together on the track while you're on pit road, that can end up costing you as much time as you gained, if not more. That's a calculated risk, and you gotta make sure you have the numbers, so if someone's gonna do it, I would expect it to be, teammates. I'm gonna once again have the laptop monitor open for watching the scanner.
Well, the 51 and the 52 are not teammates. Right?
They are not.
But this is an unwritten law here. You know, all of a sudden, you know, you go with who brought you to the dance here, and now it's us, and the 51 is purposely pushing the 52 to help him and help himself. There's no way he's not going to want to do what the 52 is doing. Now, if I'm on the outside line, I'm thinking I want to get teammates together on the outside line. Okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to wait to see when they pit, and we're going to go one more. We're going to go with draft buddies together, and we're going to see if they make a mistake. And if not, then we still have power and numbers. You know, if you can get out of the pits with 3 or 4 guys on lined up, you can win this race. So,
Yep, takes probably about 5 to make it really safe from losing the time you gain from
and the
short
leader
pitting.
is gonna. He's the guy that's using the most fuel, but fuel's really not an issue here because they're no matter what they're.
Yeah, everybody's
going
gonna make one stop. Yeah. It's not a matter of making the difference between 1 and
But
2
he's
stops.
the dictator of the situation. There's no way those outside guys can do it. So, but the guys farther back on that bottom line can. But they have to be lined up and on the same page.
Yeah, we are well inside that window now of short pitting to the end.
What you want to do as teammates, what you say to each other, or if you're talking channel is like, when we come in, I'm gonna take there's basically 3 lines you want to pick when you go into the pits here. I'm gonna be the high guy, the middle, or the low, and a lot of times it ends up 4 or 5 guys, and then at that point, then you decide. Try to make a car away from the others, but you still tell each other, I'm going to come in high or I'm going to come in low, closer to the wall or middle. And you all, at least, if you're communicating together, you know that's what your objective is. So you don't just cram each other, and so you can all get a free
Isaac Johnson hard into the outside, takes Jeff Hale, 95 of Will Farmer.
Isaac Johnson hard in the wall as they lap, and Rick Johnson
Pace car rolls.
is in the lead, and the pace car is the caution is out.
I was trying to get back to McQueen there. There's the 109 of Rick Pisconer. He's getting back on the track after a ride through the dirt.
I don't know if there's contact there with Jeff Hale or not, but
I think that was a bump gone wrong. That's what it looked like to me, right off the corner.
coming off the corner, you don't want to hit somebody. You want to wait till you're going straight. Give them a bump. But timing that is not as easy as it looks either.
Well, here we go. They were on the high line. Those 3 cars, 72, 29, 95. Jeff Hale's real. Oh, it was a bump in the corner. That's what it was, all right.
And Jeff Hale is,
And look at McQueen. Look at the 95 car. Oh, he hooked. Okay, he was trying to get back on the track, and because the spotter doesn't call it, he hooked the 109. No harm, no foul there. Those guys were just trying to get back under control after getting wrecked. And 95 is pretty much just along for the ride on the grass there.
take a breather here as a driver. You take a breather. Your intensity level is so focused. But you breather over. Now you gotta execute your pit stop here. Fuel only, no tires. You gotta switch that stuff off yourself. You don't have you can't tell the pit crew to do it. You have to do it with buttons or voice commands or several ways here. Rick Johnson down pit road. The veteran. The world champion. '52 red box Ford. No tires. Fuel. Gun it. Go. Go. Almost contact with the 27.
Matt Watkins takes the lead.
Wow, that was close. And who is that guy? The other goat. Matt Watkins. Did he short pit? That's another thing here is, what was your fuel settings on? It took a long time for them to get gas into that 52. Did he take too much? Did he take just enough? Did Matt Watkins cut that down and go like a half can?
I think they probably filled it up, but Matt Watkins just had more fuel in the car already.
Oh, okay, because he was...
And,
I got you.
And he was pitted in the back.
Absolutely.
So
Talking
he probably
from
had
a champion
a cleaner shot into the pit stall.
That's exactly it. That's all it takes here. And
so Matt Watkins should be your leader when this all cycles out.
Matt Watkins with that DeLorean looking car there. Mario Brothers.
Yeah, not this week. The Back to the Future car.
Oh, okay.
No Mario
So
Brothers on there.
Okay, gotcha. So he's got... That's why I see the DeLorean tail lights there. Master computer guy, master painter, master race car driver.
Man, I was afraid where you were going with that next master there.
Master debater. And man, well, these guys are all great pro sim racers, but I talk about goats, and I don't say that lightly. And so here we have it. The goats are, in my opinion, I can't put one in front of the other. They've won everything. They own all the records in this league, except for road racing.
Wonder who that could be. Meanwhile, that lap there under caution is officially the first lap the 35 car has led tonight. Matt Watkins picking up the bonus point there.
But you still see now it's going to get nasty.
Yeah, we're going to come up on this restart with...
No,
it's going to be 10 to go.
Teammate, who? What? I didn't hear you on the radio there. I'm sorry, can you say it again? So, yeah, another Marine car there, my Fresno buddy. Also, not his night tonight, but Brad Otto, 1, 2, 3, 4. United States Marine Corps.
Yeah, he's being shown tail end of the lead lap. But I think because this restart's going to be 10 to go, he's going to have to pit.
All night, all these guys have been duking it back and forth. Now the gloves are off.
And there you see the 31 car heading down pit road as per FSB rules. He sees that this restart's going to be inside 10 to go, and he's doing the right thing and getting out of the way. Normally that would have been a good spot to be in. Tail end the lead lap, hope for a quickie caution and get it back, but that just didn't fall in his favor.
I seen the 51, they threw a whole bunch of jolt in that car there. And he's going to be talking real fast right now, but he's been helping out the 52 all night. And,
it's going to sound like John Force in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You ever hear John Force? He
With
was
those
on.
teeth, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he was on the
Got
Dale Jr.
beautiful
download.
teeth, man. Oh my gosh.
So I was interviewing
Bad teeth like that.
So I was interviewing Dale Jr.'s show, the Dale Jr. download.
And his daughters
that,
too.
Yeah, that
Of course.
podcast format he does
they're
there.
Pretty hot, you know.
And like John Force
Did
is
I
like
say that?
John Force is like the living embodiment of a stuck throttle.
Just a
He
legendary.
just has no other speed with that mouth than just full force.
Well, you know, I mean, drag racing wouldn't be what it is now, and he's all kinds of racing. He was a revolutionary kind of guy that changed the way people talked. I happen to be friends, well, not friends, but my dad was friends with Gary Selzy. You know, he's from Fresno here, and got to meet him a few times. And he's pretty. He can talk a lot too. They actually call him Sleazy here, his friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here we go. The lights are off on the FSP pace car as we head through turn 4, which means that Firebird's about to duck off, and we are
Looks like
gonna get to some serious business.
Matt Watkins is 88 miles an hour here. I think he's about to go back to the future.
Barrett McKay checking in chat just in time for this finish here. He was watching the
up,
truck
Barrett?
race.
Thanks for showing up. 20 people watching right now. Live. You can archive and watch this on YouTube. Every race is archived. There we go. Wow.
And the
Rick
95
Joseph would
of
still
Will
like to
Farmer
get
got a
Rick Castle, his teammate, but he's back a ways there. Get some help. Let's see what happens here.
95 of Will Farmer did not go on that restart. I don't know if he had a gear problem. He shouldn't have taken any damage from that ride. I'm thinking he lost a gear on the restart.
10 laps to go and counting. What is Matt doing there? He got a little bit out of the draft, and Rick is going for it there. Does he get any help?
Does he get
on
the help? He's got
outside?
Fowler
He's
in
trying to
this.
side draft. Dave Henry says, "Forget it, Rick. We were buddies, but I don't know you now." But
52
here
and
comes the outside line with
27.
Dan Irvine.
With the 05 of Ed Fowler tucked in.
Who's
54
gonna
Bill.
go on the outside with him? These guys behind us like
54 of
Sam
Bill.
Young back there, the owner promoter. The 9 tries to go to the outside. Now the outside has the advantage.
Oh, hard contact. Joe
Car
Wheeler
into the
and the
wall.
124 Rick Castle. They stay straight, no caution flag. Meanwhile, 54
No
car
flag for
of Bill Yarbrough. Where did he come from? We haven't talked about him all
Where did
night, and
come
here he
from?
is in the
come
mix.
from smart, safe driving, and here he comes. Mano a mano, you know, what's up? Get some. You want some of this? Francis Dittman rooting for the Black Cats. Rick Johnson now on the outside. Matt Watkins on the inside. The goats are on side by side down the back stretch. The outside line takes the lead. Not at the line though. What's Rick gonna do? He tries to cut in front of.
He's working
and he
both
does
lines
cut
now.
in front into the Matt Watkins there using the draft. He's sensing I'm gonna bail on the outside. He's going for the win here. What a great move so far. 7 laps to go. Are you kidding me? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Look, you guys
Hey,
watch
power
NASCAR,
move.
right? I mean, they can't help but crash it. They look at each other and they crash. I mean, come on. These guys are racing hard and clean, but they still can crash. This could get ugly. Sam Young trying to get in there. The boss, where did he come from? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's hanging on. He's looking to make a move on the low line there. We got him on the right side of the screen. And that number 98.
Dan Irvine trying to keep that outside line going. This is not over. Plenty of time for guys to change allegiance Watkins, Rick Johnson, they love each other, but they want to beat each other into the ground right here. That's what they do. That's why they're here. They've been doing this for a long time, and they still get a rush out of it. And right now, these two veterans are going at it. Dave Jandy, what's he going to do? He's been helping guys all night. I want to win this thing, bro, you know? The outside's starting to form again. Dan Irvine kind of went down low, and then he went back up high. Kid Hanson's mired back there, but he's got Bill Yarborough too, so they lose a ton of 2 car lengths on the outside. Who's going to help? Sam Young can't decide. What do I do? And I know that feeling.
And by the way, that's the top 14 under a 1-second blanket. Will Farmer in the 95 is .816 back of the leader right now. That is blink, and you're at the next car. Whoa, the 9 car makes a move that almost cost him dearly.
Oh my God.
Squeezed into a tiny hole
Look
there.
at this pack coming down here. Coming up on 4 to go. Rick Johnson in the lead. Matt Watkins all over the back of him. Now they go single file. Wolf Farmer, he doesn't know what to do either.
Yeah, Will Farmer lost a lot of...
Outside. The outside needs to get to going now. This is
Yeah,
what
they're-
happens, though. That's why I like that inside line.
Yeah, they're getting disorganized on the outside again.
Well,
Will Farmer...
This guy's 4th or 5th. They want to win this race.
Will Farmer lost a lot of ground on that restart, and he's trying anything he... Oh, and he's around to the inside.
Oh, way down on the end.
Almost saves it.
Comes back at no harm, no foul. Dennis
Wow.
Chambers wants some of this. We haven't mentioned his name all night. Where'd he come from?
Yeah, Dennis Chambers, winner of the chicken run and the truck race here at Daytona this week.
He good. Badass at Riverside. Oh, the 27 gets forced out, and he goes in the back with the dogs. That's lose the draft, you're gone. This is cutthroat. Now they're all single file. Lap traffic coming up on lap traffic. John the Dog Palmer, he will stay high. No, he goes
No, he's
low
going for the pit road.
Gets
He's just
up.
getting out of the way.
Absolutely. Great sportsmanship right there. He knows what's at stake. He's won these things. He don't want to be a part of that. Here we go. Come on. Come on.
Who's going to make the
Fowler,
move?
Farmer and Fowler. They've been up front all night. They're like, now we're in 7th or 8th here. We want to go. Billy Yarbrough trying to get the outside line going. Nobody's going. They go to the back. Here comes Dave Simons, winner at Riverside.
Sam Young trying to get the high line going.
Now he goes backwards. These guys are cutthroat, man. I thought you were my friend, bro. I don't think so. In the lead, these guys are not doing that. Gotta go. We gotta make that outside line go. We're on the last lap here. 80 of 80. Make that outside line go. Nobody wants to do nothing. Rick Johnson takes
Matt
it down
Watkins
the
takes a
backside.
look.
He goes Matt Watkins on the outside. Now they all go.
He's got a push from Webb. Push from Bill Farmer.
Push him, push him. Come on, come on. Lap car down
Lap
low,
car gets
stay
out of the way.
Great job. It's still Rick Johnson. But it's Matt Watkins on the outside. The outside's forming. Do they all
Contact with the outsiders.
With 05 and their big wreck.
Oh, wrecking
And
across the
they're
line.
crashing
35
behind.
at 98.
Rick Johnson wins it. And Dennis Chambers second. Dave Simons on his roof and back around. They're crashing behind. Are you kidding me? That's how you finish Daytona, folks.
Woo.
On these guys as badass as what? Oh my god.
Carnage at the line.
Wow. Rick Johnson with the pit stop to get the track position at the end. Made sure that he was in front. That is how you win this race. Timing is everything. He's got a notebook, and he's putting a little check next to it right there. Okay, I like that steering ratio with this setup, and last pit stop, I nailed it, and the drummer kicks ass and wins it. And what a show from these guys. Everybody's upside down on fire. Good thing it's not real. The 83 toast. The 95's on fire. Puff, puff, give.
So here's the
They're
wreck of the
burning
line
up
here.
on fire here. Unbelievable.
See, the 05 gets pushed into the 10, comes up into the 06, back down across, and it's just on from there.
Well, it was go time. I mean, they were 5 wide right there.
How was that for a finish, guys?
Oh my goodness. Look at
You
the
were right
carnage
up
just
there,
roll
boss.
across the line.
Great job.
What a race! What
man.
a finish!
Oh my God, I was screaming. I think my throat hurts after that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, Sam Young credited with 6th place there while smashing into, I think, everybody across the line.
They actually they sent me
Farmer and
across the
Fowler,
infield.
they had to go right there. That outside line, up into the catch. Who was in the catch fence right there? Dave Simon's doing the Joey Chitlin on his side there and over and back again. Somebody went up into the catch fence. That's the kind of wreck you want to see in the last lap.
Well, I'm
Looks
going to
like
collect your podium,
the
guys.
shizzle right
All
there,
right.
man. What a
Sam Young
finish.
heading down to pick up our podium finishers there. Thank you, Sammy.
The boss. And
That's good
running well right at the end there, too. We got 2 or 3 here. Still trying to get your winner there, Rick Johnson. Dave January, wow, Dave, man, dude, what a great race the whole time there. Very exciting.
I'm mentally spent.
Our
Yeah.
winner,
Absolutely.
Damn. Haven't done that in a while.
our winner, guys, is not in TeamSpeak. Sorry to say.
Rick Johnson get dropped?
Yeah.
Oh, here he's come back.
There he is.
He's back. All right. So I lost my top finishers there. It all exited out on me. Hey, your winner. Yeah, Rick Johnson, yeah, of course. Dave Jandry was 2nd, and Matt Watkins 3rd, or is that the other way around?
You got it right.
You got it right. All right, so Matt Watkins, man, you made some great pit stops tonight.
Yeah, that was
That seemed to be where you're making your ground up.
yeah, that's the key thing on plate tracks. You have good stops, and you'll always have a chance at the finish. Yeah, I thought Rick made us move too early. I thought I was gonna have a shot. I was like, finished second about 3 times this season. I might as well go for the win.
Exactly.
So
Oh,
it was
of course,
definitely, it was exciting. I wasn't sure. I thought Dave. I wasn't sure if he'd go high or low. He made a good move. I was like, he's probably gonna snooker me. And he did. So.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
sorry,
I mean,
Matt.
he was helping
No.
both you guys out, but
Exactly.
he wanted to win this race too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw
he did.
Webb behind me, and I figured he's going to go up with you. So I thought, what the heck, I'm taking it
There
low.
you go. And I don't blame you. I was like, yeah, Dave might snooker me. He did. And, awesome job to him getting a second. Thought it was good to see him run good, be back here, and shout out to my Monsoon guys. Dennis, new member, got 4th there, and Webb got 5th. So awesome job with those guys, and good job to Rick again. That was a really good move on the outside, and he did everything perfect and got it.
Yeah,
Well,
great job.
yeah, absolutely. Well, before we get him, Dave, man, wow, you pushed these guys, you pushed them, but you had to keep up with the execution on the pit stops, and you did. You know what these guys are capable of, and man, you were right there, and tell us about your story there.
Oh, that's it. Just trying to hang with them in the pits, and then out in the track. That was a lot of fun. I mean, between Rick behind me and Dan in front of me, that was pretty intense. Run the low line like that, but that was a lot of fun.
It looked like it, and a great job out there. So, did you have teammates out there, or are you still flying solo?
No.
No
Nope.
teammates. So you just kind of made yourself an unofficial
Well,
Monsoon member there.
somebody needs to sign this guy. Are you kidding me?
That was a strong run.
Don't be
Great
stupid.
job, man.
Get on the phone like now and
Well,
call
Monsoon
this
paid
guy.
a fortune, paid an absolute fortune to get Dennis Chambers there. So
Yeah, and that's
I don't
that's
think
Well,
they have
that's
any.
a
I don't
pretty
think they have
good
any room
pickup.
left in their budget. to be
Yeah, no
honest.
room left in the stable or the budget there at Monsoon. So great job, Dave, and of course your
Thanks,
winner
Shawn.
here tonight,
Thanks, Milt.
51, Rick Johnson.
Thanks, Dave.
It's a good points night for Rick too. That moves you up 4 spots. As you see, we got the points are updated on the screen here. 9 points back of Bill Yarborough, who also had a very solid run tonight. But man, Rick.
Well, Rick made me look smart, man, because I was on you when you
I do
did
that a
the
lot, don't I?
last stop, and I was like, "This is Rick Johnson money time right here," and you did not disappoint. Pit stop came out in front. I mean, that was vintage Rick Johnson plate racing right there.
I mean, this is
Wow.
all about getting up with the right people. And the first part of the race there, we were on the bottom line, and I couldn't get it to go anywhere on the bottom. I don't know, I can't remember who I was racing with, but the top line was just too fast. And then once I hooked up with Dave there, and I think Dan Irvine, man, we just took off there on the bottom.
Yeah,
We were
Dave
just like
was
we were like
definitely
one.
loyal until the end there. So
Well,
Yeah, the high line's faster
Well-
if the cars are organized up there, but yeah, if the low line has the numbers, it's just nothing you can do with him.
And then, like you said, when I got to third, I was just executing from that point on and trying to hold Matt. I thought Matt stole it from me with 10 to go there.
And we thought so too.
but I have to thank Dan there as he pushed me to the lead. Once I got past Matt, I had to go down to the bottom. I couldn't stay up
Yeah,
top.
we saw you working the 2 lines there too, against each other. So that's what you got to do at the plate races,
That's
man.
what you got to do, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Rick.
you were like, beating the bass drum, and there you were Neil Purton, that their drummer, and you drummed yourself a win there. Great job, bud.
Thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun. I have to thank Dave for ever going with me there in the last lap, too.
Yep, no problem. That was fun.
Yeah,
I was going to go
Coming
high.
in second, it was still fun.
Yeah, I was going to put Matt up into the wall, but then I seen you stay down low, so back down.
Well, great job, our podium finishers here again. Thanks for joining us, Matt Watkins, Dave Jandria, and Rick Johnson. Congratulations, Rick, on another win. And look again at that points battle. Billy Yarborough is your leader. Rick Johnson moves up 4 spots to 9 points back. 10 points back, Dennis Chambers moving up 2 spots. 11 points back, Dan Irvine in 4th. And then breaking the combo, 15 points back, Jordan
Well, some of
McGregor.
these guys.
Wait,
have
Jordan McGregor wasn't
missed
even
some
here.
races, but some guys might miss. Also miss races. Right now, I really like Bill's chances here if he runs these races. I'd like to see Bill win his first championship.
Well, he's sitting pretty right now at the halfway mark, but there's some stiff competition still very much within
his
one
steady
race striking
driving
distance here.
Is definitely. I've seen another good finish.
He's got to be feeling good that this wild card's out of the way, though.
Yeah.
This
And
super speedway racing, and so much can go wrong. And he kept the car under him. He was there for the wild finish. He's credited with. What's he credited with tonight? He ended up 13th. I guess he was caught up in that
he was
last
caught
fracas
up in
there.
that, yeah.
But still, he kept the car under him and was there for the finish. That's what matters here.
One of these days we'll get an interview out of that guy.
Yeah, he's elusive. He's elusive. Let's see if we can get a look at the schedule as we.
I might be able to make an appointment. He just texts me every now and then. Usually when a road race is on, on TV or something. So.
Yeah, so the remainder of your schedule here will be next week. We're going to Iowa, back to the short tracks. That's a great little track designed by Rusty Wallace in Iowa there, and Darlington, one of my absolute favorites. Hattiesburg, New Hampshire, Homestead Night, the Progressive Bank version, and then we're going to close the season out March 27th, my dad's birthday, at Indianapolis.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Dad.
So happy halfway in the season. Happy Valentine's Daytona. And thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks, as always, my partner, Milt Minter Jr., doing what you do and making it possible for me to split my focus all night long.
You're the brains, I'm the mouth, man.
I only screwed up a little bit on the standings thing tonight, but it worked out in the end. Thanks, everybody, for joining us out there on YouTube. We got Brad Otto checking in, Francis Dittman, Barrett McKay, Michael Olson, Kim Wright, everybody else. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you for showing up.
Thanks for our series sponsor, Bill Farmer, Farmer Brothers Contracting, putting up the hardware that these guys are going to battle it out for this second half of the season. Shaping up to be a great points battle, as you can see there on the screen. Thanks, Ryan Johnson, our series admin. Thank you, Sam Young, the boss and league promoter. And
thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. And for FSD Racing Live, I'm Shawn Reap saying good night.